made and rendered to Biafran this afternoon. It demonstrated, yes, that you are among those who were chosen before their mother gave birth to them. Your mother giving birth to you was just, okay, go. You have been chosen. Go and help your people to be free out of the bondage of the Nigerian state. This is the position that MID is in. MID breeds. The Minister of Military Language and Linguistics, like I call him, the most educated black man all over Europe. I really appreciate you for bringing us together at this particular time. Thank you so much, Minister MID Briggs. I also appreciate the presence of tutors, the tutorial mistress. Thank you so much for what you are doing for the Biafran nation. I also salute you, Boland Franklin, for standing very strong for the Biafran Republic government in exile, for supporting our acting Prime Minister Ogechukwu Nkere, for supporting our government, Biafran Republic government in exile, and standing for our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Okukanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. I use this opportunity to appreciate every Biafra who is on this platform. Tonight, at this particular time, I want you to understand that the reason why you are here is not because of yourself alone, but for the singular reason that you have seen the atrocities of the Nigerian state against our people. You are here because you want your people to be free. You are here because you have seen the contributions and the sacrifices that our leader Martin Nandikano has made. And you said, oh, I must support Martin Nandikano in this sacrifice, and I want him to be free. You are here because you buy into the process. You also buy into the policies of our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa Joko, and you feel pain on the atrocity and the connivance of Nigeria and Finland in detaining our Prime Minister. And you are here because you are so tired of the intimidation and the harassment that we undergo on a daily basis in that contraction called Nigeria. You are here because you want to help Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and our Prime Minister end it. That is why you are here. That is why you are supporting the government of Biafra. I want to appreciate every one of us. And I want you to know that you are doing the right thing, because self-determination is not a crime under international law. It is within our right, because the international law recognizes the principle of self-determination as a fundamental right, primarily through a legal instrument and customary practice. For those of you who don't really understand what we are doing, when we talk about self-determination, to you it looks alien, it looks strange. But I want you to understand that self-determination refers to the right of the people to freely determine their political status, their political stand, how they want themselves to be governed, how they want to pursue their economic, social, and cultural development, and also exercise their sovereignty over all the resources, our natural resources that our lands have been able to offer unto us. To exercise control about our God-given talent and exercise control over our territory. That is what international law recognizes. And it is also written, inscribed in black and white in the United Nations Charter and other international legal framework. Each and every one of us that is on this platform should know that we are doing the right thing. Our leader, Mazin Nandekano, is doing the right thing. Our Prime Minister, Mazin Samoneka, was doing the right thing. They have never deviated from the international law. They have never deviated as it is enshrined under international law that recognizes the principle of self-determination. The Nigerian government criminalizes self-determination because Nigeria is not a nation. Even as they ascribe to that law, they tend to criminalize it. When our leader exercises such right, they call him a terrorist. When our prime minister exercises that right, they call our prime minister a terrorist. They call us all manner of names, but yet they ascribe to that principle, they ascribe to that article that stipulated that principle of self-determination, whereby we have a right, we have a privilege. It is within our own jurisdiction to determine, to state, to fight, and stand for what we believe in. To say that yes, we don't want to belong to one Nigeria. We want to have a right to govern ourselves. My wonderful people and lovers of freedom. Nigerian government is not a government of the people. Nigeria is a terrorist government. Nigeria have murdered a lot of people. Nigeria have destroyed lives. Nigeria do not know what rule of law is all about. Nigeria do not understand the principle of self-determination. Nigeria do not understand that international law recognizes the principle of self-determination. That is why Nigeria criminalizes it, and that is why Nigeria continues to nosedive and commit all manner of atrocities against the international law. I want each and every one of us to understand that self-determination can never be a crime. And that is why I want us to know that what we are doing is right and legal. And therefore, it has no implication whatsoever. And that is the reason why we must come out with everything that we have to continue to support our government, who is overseeing our fight for self-determination. Mazin Nandekano, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, who have been able to educate each and every one of us, have enjoyed and encouraged every one of us to stand very strong, to make sure that no matter what happens, we must stand on our right, because whatever he's doing, whatever we are doing, it is within our right to do so. Because Nigeria needs to be destroyed for our right to manifest. If Nigeria is not destroyed, Nigeria will continue to trample on the rights of its citizens. But we are no longer citizens of Nigeria because Nigeria expired in 2014. And that is the more reason why we should increase all our efforts, all our fight against that contraption called Nigeria, so that we can be free as a nation to put in place our government and be able to carve a niche for ourselves. A lot of our brothers and sisters have paid a lot of prices for us to get to this stage. We have no time to think back. We have no time to waste. This is the time for Biafrans to come out in mass and support the Biafran Republic government in exile under the acting Prime Ministership of Ogechukwu. Because this is the only time in the history of Biafra that the Biafra issue has been brought before the American State Department. American congressmen and women are now aware that we are following the laid-down principles of self-determination in order to fight for what rightfully belongs to us. Biafrans all over the world, I want us to understand that freedom is not given, rather freedom is taken. And as long as we are following the laid-down principles for self-determination, nobody is going to criminalize our activities. The time to be free is now. Nigeria have killed a lot of us. Between 1967 to 1970, we begged for help. We cried for help. Nations ran away from us. Nigerian government, with their allies all over the world, fought against Biafran nation. And at the end of the process, 3.5 million children died as a result of starvation, as a result of blockade. Just for the singular reason that they were asking and fighting to self-determine, to be able to live their life, to be able to control their territory, be able to build infrastructure for themselves and for their population. But Nigeria criminalized that, called their allies into the table, carried out all manner of propaganda against the Biafran nation, and every other nation invaded Biafra land, helping Nigeria in order to conquer us. But thank you, creator of heaven and earth, who destined that Biafra can never be overrun, that we shall never be annihilated from the face of the earth. And today, here we are again, fighting for the same thing that we fought between 1967 to 1970. But this time around, on a very civilized manner, we are now before the American State Congress, and we are asking that the world recognize us, the world acknowledge the atrocities of the Nigerian state against us, and be able to come to our aid and rescue. And as please recognize the Biafran Republic government as the only government that is in charge and fighting for the freedom of the Biafran people. Despite unfortunate that while we are fighting for our freedom, a lot of people are still acting as stumbling blocks. A lot of people are impediments to our freedom. I don't think that all these people understand what self-determination is all about. Before 1967 to 1970, we were in charge of our territory, we were in charge of our population, and we were in charge of our people. In 2014, in 2014, after the amalgamation expired,
that is wild.
We should be in charge of our region. We wanted to renegotiate with Nigeria, but Nigeria never wanted renegotiation. Nigeria wanted to lump everybody into that one contraption where you have no say, where you have no contribution, where the Fulani control everything that happened in that part of the region. But with the Biafran people, as children of Chukwu Abiyama himself, we cannot accept a situation whereby the Fulanis take control of our lives and our territory. And considering their atrocities against the Biafran people between 1945, 1967 to 1970, we are no longer comfortable in that contraction called Nigeria. And because of that, we have to embrace the law of international on self-determination. And that is why Martin Nandekano started the process of awareness creation. Our Prime Minister now brought us into the government, while we have a template that is now bringing us to the conclusion of our fight in order to be free as a nation. Self-determination is not a crime. Then why did Nigeria criminalize it? What is the crime that we have committed as a people? Why have the world refused to hear our cry? Why have the world refused to acknowledge the genocide that was committed against the Biafran people between 1967 to 1970? Why have the whole world kept quiet? Even while our people are being killed, even when men, women, and children are being destroyed, even when properties are being destroyed, why have the world refused to speak? Why have the world refused to come to our aid? Even when we are following the laid-down principle of self-determination. What is our crime that the world have refused to come to our aid? We see what is happening in Israel. The world listening to them. The media come to their rescue and cover all the atrocities of Hamas against Israel. We see what is happening in Russia. We see what is happening in Ukraine. The atrocities, the killings that happens in Russia and Ukraine. All the major news outlets used to carry it and educate the world of what is actually playing out in Ukraine. But yet, the secret war that is happening in Biafra land, even when we know that what is happening in Ukraine and Russia cannot be compared to the atrocities of the Nigerian state against the Biafran people. Yet, the coverage is not there. The people, the world are not speaking. But it's our crime that the international media, that the world leaders refuse to come to our aid. Is it not the same law? Is it not the same international law in self-determination that we are following? Is it not the same blood that runs through their veins that also runs through our veins? They have a defined territory, we have a defined territory. They have a population, we still have a population. What is the difference? That the world listens to what happened in the West, yet they do not pay heed. They do not listen to what happened in Biafra. Yet we are under the international law of self-determination. What is our crime? For crying out loud, what crime have we committed in that part of the world that when our people are being killed, that when our properties are being destroyed, that when our leaders are being detained, the world looks the other way around. Even when our leaders are under the confine of self-determination law. Ukraine, they are fighting for their rights. Russia is fighting for what belongs to them. Israel is doing the same thing. The world talks about Israel. The media talks about Israel. The media talks about Russia. They talked about Ukraine. Yet when it comes to Biafra, the media keeps quiet. The only thing that the media is so much concerned is the natural resources that come from Biafran territory. That is their concern. That is their focus. Then I ask the question, does it mean that it is only our resources that matter to them? Does it mean that our lives do not matter to the international media? Our lives do not matter to the world leaders. The lives of our people are nothing to them, but only our resources. My dear friend, brothers and sisters, having listened to this, I want us to realize that the world talks about us only when our resources are involved. But when our life is involved, they keep mute. They look the other way around. Consider an American being held hostage for 5 years for fighting for the freedom of his people. What do you think will happen? What do you think the world leading medias will do? It will be the headlines of every news media all around the world. And the world will act in order to make sure that that American citizen is released. But in this case, we have our leader, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Okukano, who has not hurted a fly, but was only speaking for self-determination for the Biafran people. The world have seen it. The world knew about his kidnap from Kenya, yet the world has kept quiet. The world knew that the Nigerian government committed international crime, went to Kenya and kidnapped our leader, even when international groups on arbitrary detention gave Nigerian government 6 good months to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and compensate him. That 6 months have lasted up to a year and 2 years up to this moment. 5 years, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have not been released. Do you think if he was an American citizen, if he's not black, would Mazi Nnamdi Kanu still remain in detention up to today? Your guess is as good as mine. So what it means is that for us to be free out of this subjugation and slavery, we must have to act extraordinarily. We must have to demonstrate how brutal we are to the Nigerian terrorist state before the world can come to our rescue. I want you to understand that if Ukraine and Russia were not throwing bombs here and there, the world wouldn't have looked their way. If Zelensky and the Putin were only making comments, the world wouldn't have looked their way. So, dear friends, this is the time for each and every one of us to support the Biafran Defense Forces, to support the liberation of our land, to support the government PRGIE, to support the recognition of our land. That is the only way that the world can look our way. That is the only way they can call for truce between terrorist Nigerian state and the United States of Biafra. We encourage every Biafran who wants to be free. We encourage every Biafran who appreciates self-determination to join hands with BRGIE and support our acting Prime Minister in what he's doing in Washington, D.C. to make sure that Biafran people are free from the subjugation, from the terrorism, and from the annihilation of the terrorist Nigerian state. Nobody will do it for you. Nobody will do it for me. For us to achieve that, we need funding. We need to fund our recognition. We need to fund our liberation. You have seen the wall of attrition. You have seen the Nigerian secret war against the Biafran nation, against the Biafran people. You have seen how our properties, you have seen how our houses are going up in flames in our region. The governors are not speaking, the politicians are not speaking, the presidency are not speaking, which means nobody will speak for you. Nobody will speak for me. The only people that is speaking, the only government that is speaking is the Biafran Republic government in exile. And that means it is this Biafran Republic government in exile that is standing, that is fighting, that is defending the Biafran people. And that is the reason why each and every one of us on this platform, we will do everything humanly possible to make sure that we support this government in order to free our people, because we are fighting to be free from the terrorist Nigerian state. And we are not fighting with our own template. We are following the laid-down template under the international laws on self-determination. My wonderful people and lovers of freedom, the time to be free out of this terrorist enclave is now, and we need everybody's support. All hands must be on deck to free ourselves from terrorist Nigerian state. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. As I want to use this opportunity also to salute the Biafran Defense Forces, the men and women who are sacrificing their lives on a daily basis to make sure that Biafra land is protected. I salute each and every one of them under the command and control of Triple General Igwe Kutuzo. These men and women understand what self-determination is all about. They understand what law, the International Law on Self-Determination said, and that is why they are standing their ground to make sure that our land is protected. I also salute Mazin Nandi Okukano. For 5 years, our leader understands that self-determination is not a crime, and that is why he is standing his ground to make sure that Biafra land is free. I salute him. Obatobie, Prime Minister Simon Ekpanjoko also understand that what he is standing for, it is not going to be easy, and that is why he is facing all these trials in Finland for the sake of Biafran freedom. And I salute every Biafran who is contributing immensely to make sure that Biafran people are free. I salute the lovers of freedom, men and women of goodwill, who support the Biafran Republic government in exile in our fight to be free from Nigeria. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Freedom is here, and we must embrace it with everything we have, because self-determination is not a crime. Thank you so much as I yield my mic from here.
Ndewo, King David, the professor himself. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear? Oh,
loud and clear.
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you. I can hear you. Thank you, my people. Ndewo, please, if you have not shared the space, what are you waiting for? King David, thank you so much for your submission. Yes, Biafrans, I think we have learned a lot today. in this topic, understanding the international law. Yeah, as I said, we cannot finish everything today. We have to keep on, bringing it up there and then so that Biafrans will be updated and then know that what we are doing, we are not against the international law. I spoke at length before with all forms of description. So I just want to chip in this because this my internet is beginning to misbehave in case it kicks me out. My co-host, I hope you are still there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you have to be prepared in case of any eventuality. Yeah, so my people, we have learned two big keywords today when I was giving the description. Hi, who can remind me of those keywords, the type of colonialism? Let me see if we were even listening. I'm waiting. Who will remind the house about the two types of colonialism under international law? Okay, Afam, your hand is up. Hello, Afam, your hand is up. Do you want to remind us? He's not close to the mic. Who can remember? Okay. Uh-oh. Afam is not even on speaker. Nobody? Can you hear me? Can anybody still hear me?
Yes, you are up. We can hear you.
Okay, so can you remember the types of colonialism? Holland, you're on speaker. Let me see if you were listening. Holland, are you there? Or you are checking your journal?
Yes. Yes, I'm here. I walked away that time actually. I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
Yes.
I think David was not there. Remember, I said under international law, maybe if MID was here, he would have remembered that we have two salt water and internal colonialism. Yes. But I will not go back to that because it was very, very lengthy. We deliberated on that for a very long time. We had to also talk about our legal framework that has given us the backbone to do what we are doing today. So, every day, Biafrans joining the space should not just come to join the space for joining sake. We have to add values to ourselves anytime we join Briggy space because we are here to learn, not just coming to listen and then we go back the same way we came. One word, one content, one statement that you will go back and now reflect and say, wow, does that statement reflect who I am in this struggle? Have I added value to myself today? Have I learned something new today? So, my people, what we are doing is approved by international law. Yeah. So, I just want you, wherever you are, to, when you be leaving this space today, you have to live with that confidence, absolute confidence in the legal and the moral authority of our cause. Know that we are not rebels, okay? We are not terrorists. Our BDF are not terrorists. We are not criminals, as the Nigerian government is painting us. We are a people. Remember when I started the first part of my submission, that we are a people. That is a subject under this international law. A people. And other places they will use all people. Now, we are a people that is exercising our fundamental rights under international law. So, whatever we are doing is in line with international law. So, when the Nigerian government call us this normal name they like to call us secessionists, we have to remind them that we are exercising our right to self-determination, which is guaranteed. I told you they have signed more than 2 treaties. I read it out before. You see, they have signed, they have also ratified it. So we are not what they are calling us. We have every right and we are exercising our right. Because they themselves that signed this treaty, why did they sign it if they will not abide by it? They were so fast to go and seek for recognition of Palestinians. Meanwhile, in their own territory, they are suppressing us. So, we have to come together and know that we are doing the right thing. Nobody should live in fear. And as you are living in K, you'll be wondering, is it proper? Am I doing the right thing to fund my freedom? Yes, you are doing the right thing. We are not the first and we will not be the last. So when they say we are breaking the law, remind them that they are the ones that broke the law in the first place. We are copying from them, but we are not breaking the law. We know what we are doing. So they cannot use this to intimidate us. They are the ones that broke the law. They are the ones that broke the treaty that they signed. Yes. So we have to remind them that the international law is higher than domestic law, and they have broken the law. And that their stupid constitution cannot override our fundamental rights. We have to give it back to them. The corrupt governors are running helter skelter, kitty, 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 running to go and buy mansion in Florida. Eh? Because they are not ready to obey the law of their own country. Now they have succeeded and they've extended it to break international law. They kidnap our Onyendu from Kenya. See? Violating his human rights. And that these same people are the one talking about us breaking the law. When they say we have no right to independence, we have to show them the Article 1 of the International Covenant, which I read before. Sorry, please. Which I read before. You see? So we have to make reference to that Article 1 of the International Covenant. I read so many of these legal framework that we have. And what it says that all peoples have the right. All peoples have the right of self-determination. That is what the International Covenant says. We had so many, I read something about UN, there are so many, and we have analyzed them a lot when we started this space. So we have to remind them that that is what the International Covenant says, that all people have the right of self-determination. Again, as I say, remember that the title, the subject is all peoples, not only white skin, not only tall people or short people, not only females, but all. And that is what we are practicalizing. You see? So when they say we must accept Nigerian unity, ask them, they themselves, do they unite? We have to remind them unity cannot be imposed by force. Unity cannot be imposed by saltwater colonialism by the Britain. Unity cannot be forced by internal colonialism by the Fulanis. It's not done anyway. It must be based on consent. And our consent was never sought when the Britain merged us together forcefully under what international law calls saltwater colonialism. We were forced to be together. We cannot accept the unity of Nigeria. They have killed us enough. So when they use violence against our peaceful protest, they are violating this international law and proving that they rule over us by force, not by right. That's what they're telling the world. You see, and this is where our APM have nailed them to the extent that I don't know. That reminds me, how many of us here have posted one post concerning Greek or our freedom in Twitter handle today? Can you raise up, give me thumbs up if you have generated a post, if you have gone to this a news media handle and extract a post, or if you have even used our, so it's only Holland. Only Holland.
I have taken it upon myself that there is no day I will not post to expose Nigeria.
Only Holland have posted. Holland, please check for me because maybe my internet is not allowing me to see. But right now, it's only you that raise up your hand. And we are 75 in this space. So does it mean that out of 75 people, only Holland could make a post about Biafra freedom, about the atrocities of Nigeria on Biafra? Is that what we are saying? Then this is very, very discouraging. Because our information minister have told us, even if you don't have what to post, share the GIF of Biafra flag. Click the GIF. Our Biafra flag is there. Type something. We want freedom. Type something. Tag who you want to tag. Donald Trump. All of them. Tag everybody taggable. Let me put it like that. You see? Even if you want to share a flag and say Nigeria ongoing genocidal war is on. They are killing Biafrans. Say something and tag those that are concerned. So I don't know if it is internet that I don't know if people are still hearing me or I don't know. Can you still hear me? Oh my God.
Yeah, they are hearing you. I can see Cyprian. Cyprian is raising his hand.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we are hearing you.
Okay, thank you so much. So that is what we should be doing. Nobody will do it for us. You see? So the law is on our side. I've mentioned all those laws before. The law is on our side in what we are doing. Our ancestors are on our side. Because I mentioned before, they told us, UN have told us that what we are doing is right. International law have told us that what we are doing is right. That even our ancestors who died have told us that what we are doing is right. We are not doing anything against the law. History is on our side. Justice also is on our side. The international community increasingly recognizes that this artificial fake unity or fake marriage they brought us together, which was created by this Britain, must give way. It must give way to genuine will of people to determine their own destiny. It must give way. We must break this marriage. It expired since 2014. It must give way for Biafrans to be free. So if the law is on our side, why are we afraid? Why are some Biafrans afraid to form? You see, we are already part of a global movement of oppressed people who is seeking for freedom. There are so many people that sought for freedom. Hello? So many. We are not the first. So we are not alone in this battle. But we must be very, very smart. We must have strategies to use and conquer this war. We must be patient. Not expecting our APM to go to Washington, D.C. tomorrow, you see recognition paper. Where is it done? When we cannot jump the step. They cannot jump the steps and the procedures because it is Biafra. Everybody followed these steps. So we have to be patient. And while being patient, we need your Ije and Ejema. That's it. We must be persistent in what we are doing. Persistent in coming to the space to speak and create awareness and expose Nigerian atrocities. Persistent in funding. Persistent in unity. Because above all, we must remain united and peaceful. That is what we are known for. Because the generation that declared Biafra, our Ojukwu, eternal leader Ojukwu, in 1967 was very, very brave. But they had a challenge, which we are not having today. You may be wondering, what could that be? They had a challenge. They did not have international legal framework that we have today. They were restrained. But today we have the international legal framework. I've already spoken about this. I will not go into that. So many.
Well, maybe not like yours,
so
but
many.
close.
They didn't have it. They did not have the global communications that we have today. There was no Twitter space. It was a Okokondem that would go to Radio Biafra. And even at that, people were still hearing the message of freedom, that they are at war. But can you imagine if they had all these communication handles at their free will? Do you know what would have happened? They would do exceedingly great. But today we have this global communication. We have the YouTube, we have the Facebook, we have the Twitter. We have so many people that are creative. They can write articles, they can sing music, they can draw pictures, all proclaiming the ongoing genocidal war that is happening in our land. But our forefathers never had this privilege. They did not even have the international human rights system that we have today. So we are so privileged, and there should be no excuses. There should be nothing to deter us from fighting for our freedom, because it is our fundamental right. It is our birthright. It is our birthright. We should come together. So we have advantages that they did not have. It's a fact. I don't know if what I'm saying is true. Is it true?
Very, very correct.
Okay, so now if it is true, we have all this at our own disposal. Why are we reluctant? Why? So we must use these advantages wisely to achieve what they could not achieve. Because internationally, the international community will recognize Biafra independence. I am telling you, and our APM has been telling us that Biafra is here. He knows why he's telling us Biafra is here. So the question is not whether we will achieve independence. The question is when and how. When and how. So if we follow the path that I have outlined before, which our MIT will also come and expatiate more, and other speakers will pick up the mic. If we build our legal case systematically, and if we gain international support gradually, if we remain peacefully united, we will achieve our goal. It is sure we will achieve our goal. Our ancestors who resisted these colonial masters, they have passed a torchlight. Let me use the word torchlight. So all we need to do is to make sure that that torchlight has batteries in it. The torchlight must not quench, and this is the word of our APM. This light must not quench in his hand. And for this light not to quench in his hand, because you can see it has been passed from Ojukwu, our eternal leader, to Wazirike, to our Onyendu, to our PM, now to our APM. And when I say APM, I'm talking also about all of us surrounding our APM. That torchlight must not dim. So battery must not run down. That's the point I'm trying to make here. So our children and grandchildren will judge us by how we carry this torch. That's it. It's a fact. So let us carry it with wisdom, with courage, and with commitment to the principles of international law and human rights. The land of Biafra awaits its freedom. It is not contestable. It is non-negotiable. The law of nations support what we are doing. So the time for action is now. This is not the time to begin to castigate. I've seen some people going there to talk rubbish against our BDF, describing how they are using this. This is not the time for whatever they have done. Is not for you to come out and analyze. Leave it for their defense. Leave them face your problem. Our problem now is a Gemma and a J. Leave those people to do their work. Leave those people to pass whatever message they want to pass. They know what they are doing. Don't try to dig into what they are saying. Don't try to connect the dots. Leave this thing for them. Let us face what is facing us now. We and a Gemma. Because all that we are talking, if we don't find our freedom, those our defense will not be able to do anything. Leave them alone. You don't know better than them. Our information minister has told us time without number. Whatever they come out to say in social media is not our business. It's not our duty to analyze because you don't know why they are doing it. Because it is very, very shameful to see some people who say they are supporting our APM going to castigate them. You want them to come out and tell you how they sleep? Leave them alone. Face your problem. You that is castigating them. What have you done to put one granite in what they are carrying in their hand? Your duty is not to go and check if they are carrying the right one or not. Leave them alone. Leave them. Focus on bringing your Ije and your Ijema. Let us fund them. Encourage people to pay their liberation tax. Encourage your family members to pay their liberation tax. And what we are doing is according to international law. We are not violating any law. We want to be loose and free from this international colonialism. We don't want Fulani to control us again. We can never live in unity with terrorists. Now go to the news today. Our APM, is nailing Nigeria. The US now, they say they are worried because of the high insecurity in Nigeria and frequent disappearance of our youth. And some people will be out there castigating him. But how will he continue to praise their neck, praise this terrorist country neck? Is by a Gemma. Our Gemma and a J is what will fuel him to do more. Please, my people, let us come together. Whatever we are doing is not against international law. No time for chu. Please, we need this Gemma now more than ever because you see, you heard what I just analyzed using torchlight. The torchlight must not cease. The battery must not run down. it has to be charged. It must not run down. Please, my people, I yield my mic here. I think our MID is back. Thank you so much for this opportunity that I had to give another speak. I had to give another.
You have spoken. It's English, so English. That is a very welcome development. And Biafran people, we are here. We are here. There is nothing the devil can do. What our sister have been saying from the beginning to the end is verum, is the truth. That is how it is. There is nobody that can challenge the historical fact. You know, when you see people that went to school, you will see education in their bodies. You know, I've been listening. You know, she started it from the time before the birth of Jesus Christ. And she landed after the death of Jesus Christ. You saw that whatever she said was very, very correct. And our brother Holland is here. You know, Emenike is here. I can see the lights of Betty Ford TV. I can see Senator. Okay, is it Senator? Oh, you're going to get it here. Senator. I can see Asiebu. I can see Mr. Snow, Americano. You people should come to the mic. I can see Mazio Nyeka G. I can see Waze. I can see Chima O. I can see Cipra. Before we start singing, this Saint Cyprian, ora pro nobis. I'm still coming up. Let me welcome another person, to the activity as Bunam Afam. You're welcome to the activity. That is how it is. Our people should understand that this is our time to understand ourselves. Because with what has happened up to today, we need to understand that our freedom is within our hands. It is for those that understand themselves. By the time that the world did or do understand that you understand yourself, they will give you a seat. Me, I myself, my seat is very close to. You say we are not talking about the zoo seat. White House. My seat is very near to White House. What of you? What of you? What of you? If your seat is very near to White House, say amen. And two, why must your seat be very near to White House? Time shall come when our seat will be recognized in Biafra land. I am telling you, because we say, when you organize yourself very well, the rest will emulate you. That is how it is. That is how it is. When we are telling this our people that they should not be saying kenkere, in hatred manner. Don't hate him, but love him. We don't say go and lie in bed with him. Love him. Don't go to bed with him, but love him. Like what he's doing, like what he represents. We are talking about Ogichunkere. What of Mazi Simon Ekpa? Eh? That one that has big chest. Hey, what of Mazi Simon? Eh? If you go to that level, they will say something else. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the first, but you don't have to go to bed with him. I am saying this in this manner so that our people will understand the mindset of some people. Some people want to go to bed with, would like to go to bed with some beds. That is not the spirit of freedom. The spirit of freedom is that that makes you. Thank you, Sister Toti, tutors. Yeah, because you're a good teacher. Yeah. Some people don't know that freedom fight has a formula, and you need to follow that formula. You need to follow that formula. When and once the formula is followed, the people must rejoice. Once you follow that formula, the people must rejoice because you are there representing them. Brother Holland, I want you to talk now. If you are near to your mic.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, MID. I want to thank you, my sister, and I want to appreciate you, David Nana. I want to seize this opportunity to acknowledge our minister, Mr. Snow. Thank you very much. I appreciate our father, and I want to thank you, Ben. I want to thank every one of our ministers that are here, as well. I can see Mrs. Betty. Yes, Minister Betty. She's here. I can appreciate every one of you that are still on the side of listening section, and we encourage you to come up. Now, I want to quickly take a light digression to what our sister has brought into light. That's two major cardinal points why we have the two type of colonialism that took over the freedom that was freely given to us by our Almighty God is that one that has to do with our internal colonialism. We have been able to escape in a halfway from that salt water colonialism. But the internal colonialism is the major factor that we are dealing with, because the whole picture appears like Britain is not unseen. On the other hand, they are involved directly. And we can see the whole scenario spelling out to our faces. And that is why I want to ask a question. How does it go down well with you? How do you feel in that particular place you are residing? Let's assume whether you are in exile or in homeland. Let me just assume that place you are, that particular place you find yourself now is your ancestral home, known to you. And one bastard from one place come up to say, henceforth is not going to be yours again. And I don't want you to ever talk about it. And I'm ready to do anything for you not to talk about it. I think I'm speaking indirectly, and I would like to come up with an evidence. The dirty rat tag Sultan of Sokoto can open his mouth and say, for Biafra to come, he can do anything for it. Should that not be a concern to you that know you are enslaved internally? Should that not be a concern to you that know you are not free internally? Should that not be a concern to you that someone has challenged your life to life internally? And because you have been able to make a resistance, they say kill him. Because you are able to raise your voice, they say bring him down. You raise up your flags in Mo, you raise up your flags in Onisha, you raise up your flag in Aba High School, you raise up your flag in many places to say, no, I cannot be taken down because this is my ancestral home. Then they say you are a rebellious. See, it has always been the way of the oppressor to always see that no anyone that stand up to challenge them, they are tagged, they are named, and they can always do this often and often unchallenged when you fail to do what? To rise up. I think there is a saying that says cowards die many times before their death. And these are just being the way and the life of which Biafran has come up with to always resist the opposition, the oppressed of their taskmaster. So it has become a very important issue in our mind that we need to wake up to what? Wake up to the life that you are being denied of. How many of our people has gone down? Can you bring them back? You can't. The other time, see what happened by the slave masters that they planted within us. This in light of this Benin or Edo governor, or whatever his name is called, that run kiti kata kata to Sultan, that run to their empire, that run to their emirate, that run to their corridor. No, please, we are not in for war. What is the outcome to the Edo people now? Are they not being terrorized? Are they not being captured one way or the other? It has always been their way and their target. And that is why this internal colonialism need to be resisted, because they have a target that it is not very obvious to you and I. They are targeting what? They are targeting that your ancestral land. And that is why you see them being planted in all manner of sector internally. You are not free, and that is why your self-determination has a backing of international body, international union, international covenant, international agreement, international treaty that they sign into. What you are doing, it is not out of place, it is not against the law, you are not doing a lawless act, but rather you are activating that life that they sign into, that covenant they sign into, that they are not going contrary to. Because when they deceive you and I with their 3 arrows, that they are going to rehabilitate, they are going to reconstruct, and they are going to do what? They are going to, their 3 arrows that they failed, that they are going to develop. Which development come? Nothing came. Nothing. After the war, do you know what will happen immediately after Russia and the so-called even before this final conclusion? Do you know Zelensky is already talking about how they can build up the place that they have destroyed, that the international community will need to look into. Nigeria failed in that agreement that they promised. They failed woefully. Now, we couldn't do anything because we were deceived. We were deceived to come and sign that everything will be well. But the man that saw future, our own father, Philip Effion, that saw future, said, if this thing that I am signing into, you people did not fulfill your part, I can assure you, they are coming back to react. And we have this now legal ground backing up that 2014 was the opportunity for you and I to raise our voice that enough was enough. Now, because we began to raise our voice that enough was enough, they said what we are doing is criminality. They said what we are doing is terrorism. They said what we are doing, we've been proscribed. So should that not come to your subconsciousness that no, you are not doing something that is wrong, that your life is taken off you, that your loved ones are being killed, that your parents they are being brought down before your very eye, that your sister is being asked to lay down and you to commit a very terrible abomination against the land. And that said, you even know that no, they will even, I'm very much sure they will even rape that girl. They will rape her in the presence of her brother before the brother was killed. They have desecrated the land. Is that not enough for you to rise up with this determination that no, something must be done? Good and fine. If you want to be a coward in any way you are, whether you are within or you are in exile, we are not asking you to come and join the army. But we are saying you are a bona fide strong man or woman of yours that can support by what? By your own part of contribution. There are men on ground who having the touch with battery that needed to light up. Do you think once a banner of war is raised up, you think it's coming down so soon? It's not coming down so soon. And if it's not coming down so soon, once the banner has been lifted up, that no, we are resisting, that has become a very important thing that needs to be a mindset we have to work with, a mindset that we need to live for, a mindset that we need to.
Neck of lamb is such a delicious piece of meat.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Fun with this.
I'm still calling on any willing for co-host to come and join, because if not, we shall be going to the spirit of Perepere, because there's no time to be wasting. Our people need to understand that we are on the right path. Philip Effion was and has and always on the right path. If there is any brethren that is willing to be a part of Congress, shall indicate by request, because we have to keep this flowing very, very holistically. Very, very important. Very, very important. Understanding the international laws in self-determination. That is the theme of our discourse today. It would be good that a co-host give a kind of request as we're talking, so that we'll be flowing. Because as of me, after speaking, I have to end it. That's the way it is. Because my own is information to our people for their own good, though, because any information I give, I can defend it before any international court. So that is how it is. We need a co-host. As we are waiting for a co-host, let us know if there is a way for us to bring a kind of cooling temperature to what we're doing, But a co-host should garner its effort, to come to the round table by indicating a request for co-hostship. That is the way we roll. That is exactly the way we roll. If that will happen now, it will be a welcome development. It will be a very, very welcome development, because our people need to understand and to follow the due process. Following the due process will lead us, to self-determination by following international law, not by swearing on our 10 fingers and 10 toes. You don't swear. Don't try that. You don't try that. You don't swear with 10 fingers and 10 toes. You don't do that. So you have to do things that is verifiable. You don't have to be swearing. So while waiting, let us listen to this. Lord, send forth your spirit and renew the face of the earth. Lord, send forth your spirit and renew the face of the earth. Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Oh Lord, my God, I bet you are. How many are your words, oh Lord? The earth is full of your creature. Lord, send forth your spirit and redeem the face of the earth. You take away the breath they died, returning to the dust from which they came. You send forth your spirit, and they are created, and you renew the face of the earth. Lord, send forth your spirit, and renew the face of the earth. Factually, what you do tells whom you are, not what you say that you are, but what you do. Cold black with regium lex abet vigorem. But there is a certain say that said, next quote black with regium lex abet vigorem. Pacta sam servanda, rebus sixtantibus. Our people should know and understand that the time we are is the time for us to follow what Mazenam Dekano has been telling us that is the way, because Mazenam Dekano is an intellectual. If what I'm saying is not true, thumb down. Is Mazenam Dekano an intellectual or not? If he's not an intellectual, thumb down. What is wrong? But if Mazenam Dekano is an intellectual, thumb up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, brothers. Thank you, Dr. V. Thank you, young man. Thank you, Onyisi. Thank you. Thank you, OZY. Thank you, Ben. You. Maybe Ben Owabo. Yeah, Biafra. That is how it is. Simon Ekpa is also an intellectual and a disciple to Mazenam Dekano. We must understand that way that our leaders wanted us to follow. Oh my goodness, let us be humble and follow that way. Let somebody come on the co-host, because so that we continue. But the message has been sent already. Sister Tutos, send somebody to come to co-host. Very, very important. So that we may continue we may continue. If not, it is okay. Because my own is to let our people to understand the main thing. That is it. This is not a child play. It is collectivism, not individualism. It is collectivism. Very, very simple. Very, very simple.
Before you admit to go to senior south, you called about 10 people, none of them answered that.
That's very, very good. As we're waiting, let us hear, let us listen to what our system is telling us. Let's just listen. Lord, for your spirit, the face of the earth. Lord, send forth your spirit, and renew the face of the earth.
Anything I'm saying now to be in the context of Biafra freedom. Yeah. So and how we apply this to our situation and what the international law says about our quest for self-determination. So that is why I say I will base my analysis and my description in our struggle right now. Yeah. So I want to start with the truth and nothing more than the truth. That the right of people to determine their own political destiny, I would say, is not a gift from any government. Yeah, it's not a gift. I said it yesterday that our right, our quest for freedom is not a gift. It is our right, and it's something similar to what we are talking about this evening. It is not something Nigerian government can, grant or deny us. It is our human right. Let me even say it is our fundamental human right, and that is why we are so aggressive about it because it is our right. The world cannot deprive us of this right. It is our fundamental right. Yes. So, and it is also enshrined in international law. So, we are legal in what we are doing, and it belongs to us as a people of Biafra. That's it. Nobody can take this right from us. So, but understanding our rights, it also means that we have to understand how international law works, which our MID has been saying on a daily basis. What the procedures are, we need to understand as well. So, anyway, I've not done it completely well, and other Biafrans who will pick their mind, we have to fill in that space. Yeah, because I don't know it all. I believe nobody knows it all. And that is why we are here to brainstorm together. Yes. So we also have to understand how we can, pursue our, would I say, legitimate aspirations. Yes, that is the right word for me. And then, that aspiration, that legitimacy that works within this framework that we are talking about of law, this international law. So I know we have emotions, but we are not going to base our facts on emotions. Yes, yes, though emotions are very, very valid, I understand. But if we look at emotions, we will never move forward. So this is about the law. And that is why we were able to conquer the accountability of 2025 because of the law, our bylaws, and our charter. So this is about law, not emotions. And the systematic approach that I know has led other oppressed people to freedom. Because this our Biafra quest for freedom has also made Biafrans now to begin to research. Are we the first people to fight for freedom? Will we be the last? You see, and to God be the glory, we have gone so far within a limit of 2 years. Look at all the achievement. There was a day that our Minister Success came to this space, and he also wrote an article about this, the fastest growing government in exile, and it came up that it is Briggy. You see, so others have gone through this pathway and they got their freedom. So we are not the first, we will not be the last. So I just want to explain what self-determination means in the context of our Biafra struggle. Others may have better explanation, but this is the little one that has come to my brain, and I want to share it. That when international lawyers talk about self-determination, they are referring to the principles that people, please underline that word, people, not just individuals, but the entire people. And remember yesterday, I made reference to the definition what the international law says about what our topic was on self-determination yesterday. Yes, Biafra self-determination right. And I made reference to what international law says yesterday that Article 1 of the UN Charter says all peoples have the right of self-determination. And the title, the subject there was all people. All people. You see, and then it has also aligned today that the self-determination is referring to the principles that peoples, not just individuals, the entire people. Again, what is missing here is all, but that all still, signify peoples. Nobody has been exempted from it. That they have the right to freely determine their political status. Where do you want to be? What do you want to do? And we also have the right, according to this law, to pursue our economic, social, and cultural development without external interference, without anybody coming in to interfere, without anybody coming in to suppress us. That is what international law says about self-determination. And these have four key principles that apply directly, as I said, in the context of our Biafra situation. That's it. So we are not doing anything wrong. Now, I put the first one as how will I even call it? Political autonomy that we have. Yes, political autonomy. That we have the right to choose our own form of government. We have the right. Look at our situation today, Biafrans. We were forced to live under a Nigerian political system that was imposed on us by Britain, the colonial masters. We were forced into this marriage. We had no say in the creation of Nigeria, which was a company. In 1914, we had no say. We just woke up, our parents woke up and saw what Lord Lugard did, joining the northern side and southern part of territories together, and then gave a name. And then they handed it over to Fulani to conquer us, to rule, to make decisions for us. Fulani that use cow urine to wash their brain. How can such people make decisions for us? How can such people lead us? And the worst thing is that they will take our money and give to the same Britain that colonized us. They don't care. Whether we are suffering, whether we are being killed, they don't care. They don't. So we were forced into this, will I say, false foundation country. But the international law says we should have our own political autonomy, deciding our own government and forming it. But this opportunity was never given to us. You see, we were not consulted. Our consent was never sought. Nothing like that. Nothing. Even right now, when they take decision in Nigeria, they don't even consider Biafra territory. They don't. They stay in Asurok, make rules that is going to be forcefully implemented in the southern part, in the northern part. Now you can work as you like. They are not bound by these rules. They make these rules to suppress the poor masses. The politicians in Nigeria, they are not bounded by the rules, and that is why we can have the guts to steal money from Biafra territory and went and bought house. I think he bought it in Florida. The news have carried it today. That is what Wike is doing with our money because they feel that they're above the law. They can do whatever they want to do. And he knows very well he can walk away with it. And for him to walk away with it, he had to use his wife's name. I never even knew that he had a wife. You see? So they have wives, and their wives are clapping hands for them for the killings that they perpetrated in our territory.
Hello.
FCT minister. So you see, when he's quoting millions of money for infrastructure in Abuja, he has taken more than what the money for that project will cost. Why? Because he had budgeted and purchased a house of $2 million US in Florida. They say it is a mansion under the wives and children's name. That is what Wike did. Because he knows he will walk away with it, nobody will question him. That's what we are seeing. He's not the only person. And that is why I'm in this place today, calling the US to sanction all politicians in Nigeria. Because Canada have said that APC, Wike was in PDP, he jumped to APC because of corruption. He wants to be protected. He wants a place to hide because of corruption. That is why there are political prostitutes jumping from one party to the other. Don't be surprised tomorrow they'll form another one. The same people will migrate and go there and cluster there and still commit the same havoc. Let the US and international communities begin to sanction these people and freeze their assets. They are using Nigerian sweat, blood to buy these properties in their countries. And the citizens of Nigeria are dying of hunger. Do you know what $2 million US would do in a Biafra territory? Do you know the development it will bring and job creation? Yet still, these thieves have packed our money. He is not the first. The other one that was the former governor of the old Anambra State, or is it Annual? What is his name, sir? Somebody help me, please. What is the name of this old governor of Anambra State? That is every morning he will walk on the street of a US with his dog. Can you still hear me? Hello? Yeah, what is it? Obiaro. Yes, thank you so much. Obiaro still bought a house in Florida. So what is happening in this Florida? We need to find out. Is that where will become Nigerian or politician city? Will they name it their city? Because we need to know what is happening in Florida. Why are they packing our money to go and buy mansions in Florida? Because Obiaro and the rest are there. That is why Wike is following the same trend. What is happening in Florida? The US need to know what is happening there. That they want to create a city for the politicians in Nigeria. Yes, they have to look into the city of Florida. Now we also have to do what? As Biafrans, we have to preserve our culture. And that comes under cultural preservation. Because as Biafrans, we have a distinct culture. Nobody can be like us. In our dressing, that is why our MNK say, if your mother is tying two wrapper with her tie, canopy, we call it canopy, with our blouse, hey, you are a Biafran. There is no need to go and look for a pastor to tell you that if you are a Biafran or not. You are a Biafran. Two wrapper, we call it up and down. The women that don't have waist, they use rope to tie it. After tying the first one and support with rope, they put the other one on top after wearing the blouse. That means you are a Biafran. We have our distinct, diverse languages, and if we begin to speak here, if a Reg and Fury pick him, it will look as if he's speaking in tongues. If I start my Italiana, if a Minister Betty start Igbo, we are so rich in languages. But if you listen to our languages play, you see that they are almost similar. Ada is Ada in my place. Adia, Ada. What is the difference? These people just brought division. So under international law, we have to protect our culture and preserve it. We have to preserve our language. We also have to preserve our religion. Right now, we have 3 religions in Biafra: Christianity, Judaism, and traditional worshippers. We have to preserve them, irrespective of the fact that Fulani have come to threaten us. We have to stand. That is what the international law says. We have to preserve the way of life that we live. And you see, it is totally different from other groups in Nigeria. We are so distinct. Yoruba people say we are the neatest. I beg. I want thumb up if I'm lying. Did you people hear when Yoruba people say that we are the neatest people, that if you go out, they will easily spot you out as a Biafra because you look neat? I beg, I need thumb up if what I'm saying is true. Is it true that we are very neat as confirmed by Yoruba people? Thank you so much. I need your thumbs up because it was a controversy, and the Yoruba people say why they love Biafrans is that they are very, very neat. To the extent that in our place, if you are dating, we give you a name. Nobody will come near you until you go back and sanitize yourself. That's who we are. That's who we are. And we have to preserve this. From our appearances, you will know. You will definitely know. And that is why they are rushing to marry our women, our female daughters, to go to their land because they know our children will bring cleanliness into their families. I am so proud to be a Biafra. I don't know about you. Yes. Is it in cooking? Just tell us what you want to eat. We prepare it sharp, sharp. You will eat and lick your fingers and ask for more. We will give you because we never lack food. We never lack food. We are so generous in giving. If we cook pot of soup, hey, goodness me, everything is in the soup. Obstruction everywhere in the soup. You combine it with akpu, that's who we are. That is who we are. You will not see us cook soup and eat with they say rice flour. We don't do that. Because there is a specific swallow for that soup. If you try to bring something else, it will not match. The taste will be out. You can't taste it again. Because that is not what was meant for that soup. Is it ogbono soup? Tell me more. So our culture must be preserved. That is what I'm trying to say. Our culture must be preserved. Our traditional democratic system of governance has been there. We have to protect it. We have council of elders. Correct one, no, not this one that are politically motivated and a position there. What do you call these people? What do you call these people? This council of chief. What is their name? What is their name? What is their name? That are busy collecting money. After today, they will write article. Tomorrow, they will counter.
There are some people you call Ohanese.
That is the right word I was looking for. Ohanese. Not the one that are prone to collect money from Nigerian government. That is not the one we are talking about because those ones are full. I am talking about the original. My people say Otumoko, the native one, the native elders that we have. That when they see white, they call white. When they see black, they call black. That is the one we have to preserve. You see? So these are not just cultural practices. These are the evidence of our distinct political identity. This is who we are. So international law recognizes that people have the right to preserve their own culture and also develop their cultural identity without force from any other tribe coming to suppress them or even coming to steal what belongs to them. Now, the third one there is economic control. Right now, we don't have control of our resources because this is perhaps the most grievous one, especially that is so clear to everyone. Even the blind can see that these people have taken the oil that belongs to us. They have taken the oil resources in our land. They are extracted and the revenues goes primarily to the Nigerian terrorist government and the northern state. We could hear last time that Sultan of Sokoto bragged about the number of oil well he has, that the Biafra must not come so that he doesn't lose his oil wells. But I'm telling him today, you've already lost it. You've lost everything because you cannot continue like this. You cannot continue to milk us dry because it is against the international law that all belongs to Biafra. You see? So meanwhile, as they are taking this oil, we can see that our people are suffering from environmental, what I call a degradation. Poverty is on the high rise. And there is lots of underdevelopment. Despite the fact that they put millions, how much has a Oman he put for infrastructure and development? Did you see him bring it to our region? No. He's busy developing Abuja because he will die in Abuja. That's what they are doing. Then the next thing now, you hear he has bought house, mansion in Florida. That is what they are doing. So international law says that people, when I say people, I'm talking about us now, because my context is in Biafra context, have the right to control their natural resources. And they also have the right to control their economic development. That is the point I'm making here. So the current system where we provide the resources, you see, but remain in poverty is a violation of this law. Yes, it is a violation of this law, and we cannot continue. Why am I saying this? It's so that we all know the rights that we have under international law, that what we are doing, we are on the right track. We are not committing any crime. And the last one is a territory integrity, or you can call it territorial integrity, because we have, will I say, an historical connection to the land we call Biafra. We are not immigrants in our land. The land belongs to us. And that is why we are fighting tooth and nail to make sure the Fulani do not overrun our land. We are not immigrants. We have our ancestors lived there. And they then gave the land to us. So we inherited it from our ancestors and we must continue to live there. You see, we are not immigrants to this land as I'm talking right now. We are indigenous people of the land. And international law recognizes the special relationship between us, the people, and the ancestral territories which belongs to us. So when we apply this four element to our situation, we see that we, that is people, we people of Biafra, clearly qualify what I said in the beginning, a people. We qualify that a people, that international law says about self-determination. Under international law, we are qualified as a people because we have shared ethnicity, you know, we shared languages and culture. So we have this continuity in our territory, and nobody can take that right from us. You see what I'm trying to say here? Yeah. So we have a distinct identity that is separate from every other region in that terrorist country, separate from Fulani, separate from Hausa, separate from Yoruba, Tif, or the one that they call it, is it Tifulu or Tif and the other regions. We are distinct. We are distinct. You will not see any Biafran backing outside. That is why Nigeria is not a Biafran, because we don't speak like that. We don't speak like that. You cannot see us come out openly and fight and tear our clothes. No. If you see anybody doing that, that person is not a Biafran. I am telling you the gospel truth, because we all have home training.
Africans deem snake
yes.
a devilish animal.
So this is not opinion. This is legal, based.
You know what I'm saying?
What is it called? Struggle that we are carrying out on a daily basis. We have the legal back of what we are doing. It is backed by international law. You see, to determine when a group constitutes a person, that person has the right for self-determination.
It's not devilish.
You see?
It's an animal made by God. Just like
to understand why our struggle for Biafra independence is legally justified, let me just chip in something here. Because we need to understand how the principles of this self-determination developed in international law and how it applies to our situation. Like us now. You know, I don't know if you are still hearing me.
I don't even know that
Hello?
snake is demonic and all this and that.
Am I seeing it?
I don't like them because I don't like their movement.
Okay.
The worst,
Thank you. So, what am I trying to say? I just want to, link us to this, what would I call, let me call it historical foundation of our legal rights. Yeah. Because the modern concept of self-determination emerged from World War I, when President Woodrow Wilson declared that people should have the right to determine their own political fate. But initially, this principle was applied only to European peoples.
Are you sure that's it?
You understand? The colonial masters, including Britain, that we are seeing the
snake that stood up. So
the colonial masters this Britain did not believe that African people have the same rights. That is it. They thought that we don't have the same right with them. That it was only applicable to European people. They remove Africa because they feel we don't have the right. So after World War II, everything changed. The United Nations was established, and that article, in their charter in Article 1 declared that one of the fundamental purpose of the UN is to develop friendly relations among nations based on respect for the principle of equal rights and self-determination of the people. But today, what is UN doing? That law is not applicable to Africa. It's not applicable to Biafrans. That is the problem. That is the problem that we are facing.
Exactly. Sister Tuto. With your touch it.
He can take down an elephant.
Sister Tuto.
Barbara. There is no animal alive that the bacteria in its venom in its saliva cannot kill. Its mouth is so wide.
Sister Tuto was able to denote the problem that you had at the proclamation of the United States. That's not it. United Nations.
You can face the lion. The lion is stronger, but the Komodo
that is what we Tutos is speaking on. He said that has nothing to do with
that's what makes Komodo
Africans.
Scary. All it takes is one bite, and the bacteria in its saliva will
just as we know that
and paralyze you.
The things concerning United Nations
and fall down.
Has never had anything to do with African founding fathers.
It's so scary.
But there is a point that
and many people agree
that
it is by far the scariest animal living today.
That's good. And that point will make us never to step back.
Very.
We must make sure that Biafra is realized. By that time, Biafra realized somebody like Tutos will be at the parliament or at the National Assembly will be bringing all those laws out
took him and treated him in
one by one to correct our people, to make our people, especially to be on the right side, not on the wrong side.
One of the Komodos bit his leg, but
very, very important.
And he survived.
Because
he would have been history.
Oh my goodness.
Komodo dragons are
in 1951, there was the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. But that Universal Declaration of Human Rights was pointing to the humans who are running from USSR to Europe and towards America. It was not pointing to the people in Africa. That's what Honorable Tutos is telling us now. But we reserve it to the time we create this. That's why I'm calling on the whole world of intellectuals, of Africans, to come down. Don't mind whether where you studied in America or in Europe. Understand that you are an African. Do that thing that a white man did that made their government to be enticing. We have to do it now.
And one of the Komodo dragons
Thank you, my sister.
ripped the unborn baby out of the day and ate it. The day was there, the day was pregnant.
Yeah.
Two Komodos.
Thank you so much, Academic Island. Because these people are taking us for granted, honestly. And until we understand where we are and who we are, then we will continue, being scared in whatever we are doing. Because when they use this word, people, all people, it incorporates everyone. But look at what they said. So these people thought that this is a right to determination from World War I. They thought it was only for Britain. Yeah. So these Britain people did not even believe that African people have the same right with them. That's it. And that is why they're treating us like this. No, now that we have opportunity to run away from these people, what do we do? We have to fund. That is the only way out. We have to fund our freedom. Because if you notice the word people, it's not just nation. They didn't say nations. or state, but they use the word peoples.
Even if it can't swallow a grown up.
You see? So then came this grave wave of decolonization. So between 1945 and 1980, over 80 new states were created as colonized people exercise their own right to self-determination. In this our Africa alone, we saw Ghana that emerged. We saw the fake amalgamation of Nigeria. Kenya is still part of this process. Tanzania, Congo, and other states in Africa. Each of these independence movement was based on the principle that people have the right to be free. That's it. That was why they were created. Just because peoples, they use that word, peoples have the right to be free. But the crucial point that applies, here is the crucial point that applies to our Biafran situation. You see, my people, when Nigeria became independent in 1960, the process was incomplete. Go and research, you will see it. The process was incomplete because the British colonial master, that colonial government that brought us together, did not consult all people. That is where the problem is. They did not, I've been mentioning and emphasizing on these peoples. Nigeria, British that forcefully merged these regions together, did not consult all people of Nigeria about whether they wanted to be part of this nonsense country or not. They just handed us over. They handed power over to Northerners to dominate over everyone, and not even the intellectual Northerners, Fulani of all people. Fulani. Hey, in international law, this is called what? Saltwater colonialism versus internal colonialism. Our MIT will explain that. Because what I have understood by saltwater colonialism is when people are colonized by powers from across the ocean, like what British did, colonizing Nigeria. But internal colonialism is when one group within the multi-ethnic state dominates and oppresses other groups. Now, so our colonialism is in two sections. The saltwater, which the Britain did, using their power to forcefully bring us together. That was what is called saltwater colonialism under international law. But we have another one which is called internal colonialism. This is now carried out by the Fulanese. Did you see? I don't know. I need thumbs up so that I know if you understand what I'm saying. My people, are you hearing me? So we have two types of colonialism. The saltwater and which other one? The internal. Saltwater is the one that Britain did, forcefully bringing us together without, there was no consultation of the people. The subject is the people. And then the internal colonialism is us now that is controlled, dominated, suppressed by the Fulani. So, and this happened exactly after 1960. These Hausa Fulani took control of the Nigerian state, and they are using it to dominate and exploit all our resources. Did you see what is happening? So it is time for us to get up and fight for our rights. You see? You see how they've massacred us in northern part of Nigeria and everywhere that they are killing Biafrans. What are you doing? Because when we declared Biafra in 1967, we were exercising our rights. When Ojukwu, our internal leader, declared Biafra in 1967, we were then, our forefathers then, it's still us, because I believe in reincarnation. We were exercising our right to self-determination under international law. We were not breaking up Nigeria. We were escaping from this internal, does it make sense? We were escaping from this internal colonialism. Yes, because once you are able to escape from internal colonialism, you automatically escape from the saltwater colonialism. You see what is happening now? So the 3-year war that followed was not a civil war. It was a war of independence. just like American Revolution that took place, or the African liberation struggle that took place. So we were breaking out from the internal colonialism. So the fact that we were not successful, the fact that we were not successful, what is it called? What I need a keyword here. Yeah, successful militarily does not mean our legal rights is determined. In determining ourselves, the determination is disappearing. No, that is the fact that we did not succeed. It doesn't mean that our legal right to self-determination has disappeared. No.
And of course,
because that is why we have gathered again to continue to fight. Right do not disappear because of military defeat. No, that is the point I'm trying to make here. If that were to be true, then no colonial people would ever become free. It's a fact. Because colonial powers always have superior military force. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. That irrespective of the fact that they brought military to suppress us and all that, our right did not disappear. Our right to self-determination is still intact. And that is why we have come again. We have risen. We must get what belongs to us. Now, what happened in 1966? The United Nations adopted two important treaties. The International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights and the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights. You see what is happening now? So, both of these treaties begin with identical language in Article 1. I'm taking you back now to that Article 1 I said before that all peoples have the right of self-determination. So, by virtue of this right, they freely determine their political status. That's what is, what we have to do. And freely we have to pursue our economic, social, and cultural development, which I said we have these 4 key elements that is approved by international law, which we have to work on.
It's a lizard, right?
Guess what, my people? Nigeria ratified these treaties. That is the funniest thing we have to do, that Nigeria ratified these treaties. So Nigeria already is legally bound to respect our right to self-determination because they ratified. Now, my people will say ratified again. Yes, they were signatories. The same thing that happened in our redeclaration in 2020, December 2nd, where the 517 delegates ratified our self-referendum. Nigeria also ratified these 2 treaties.
Very nice.
I hope you're understanding me.
I could eat 10.
At times this my laptop used to misbehave when I ask. Can anybody still hear me?
Fire on.
Okay, sir. Yeah, because of this laptop. So what it means that Nigeria is legally bounded by these treaties that they signed. So when the Nigerian government uses military force to suppress our peaceful agitation for independence, when they arrest our leaders, our Onyendu, and forcefully, colluding with Finland to detain our PA, when they deny us the right to organize politically, they are violating their own treaty obligation under international law. So I don't know where they will keep their face, because by the time our APM finished dealing with them, you remember that pastor that said, "Come and dialogue now. It is getting too late for dialogue." Because Nigeria have violated this treaty that they signed. You see what is happening? So we have a legal framework that protects our rights. We have a legal framework. So we are not just operating in space or vacuum. No, we are not. We have principles that protect our right to self-determination as Biafran people. Because the United Nations Charter is the foundation of modern international law. How did I come to know that? In their Article 1, Paragraph 2. When our MID used to quote all these paragraphs, I had to take time and study. Because if you see what this space has done to me, MID used to challenge me. Once he quote this thing, I will jump out, search for it so that I understand it much better. Because to do follow is not good. Just like you go to school, you hear your lecturer make one vocabulary, you say, what does this mean? That lecturer may not have the time to explain the meaning for you in the lecture room because there is no time. It is your duty to go back home. That will allow you to elaborate more on what you learned in the class. So when I heard our MID always quoting this charter article, I had to go and study because I also want to know what is happening inside. Yes. So in Article 1, Paragraph 2, it states that one of the purposes of the UN, this United Nations that has turned their back against us today and have turned their back against the violation of the treaties that Nigeria signed, they said develop friendly relations among nations based on respect for the principles of equal right and self-determination of peoples. I want to read what the paragraph 2 says. It states that paragraph 2 states that one of the purposes of United Nations, one of the objectives, one of the aim of United Nations is to do what? Develop friendly relations among nations. Friendly relations among nations based on respect for the principle of human equal right and self-determination of peoples. Then when you go to Article 55, it says that the United Nations shall promote universal respect for and observance of human rights and fundamental freedom for all. Did you see the word again? For all. All, as we echoed again. Without distinction. Oh my goodness me. Without distinction as to race, sex, language, or religion. You see, these are the elements that people fight against. They say without distinction, meaning that everybody have equal rights, and their equal rights and human rights must be protected and be respected. Is Nigeria respecting our human rights? The answer is no. They have already violated the 2 treaties that they signed. That is the problem here. And what has the UN done against Nigeria? Have they sanctioned Nigeria? The answer is no. Because in every committee in UN, Nigeria have deposited their seed to suppress anything that has to do with Biafra. So what this means for us as Biafran is that our right to self-determination is not just a political aspiration. We have a framework support. It is a fundamental principles of international legal order. So when Nigeria joined UN in 1960, it accepted this obligation as well. But today, are they practicing it? The answer is no. Instead, they are turning around, killing us, chopping off our necks, raping our mothers and children, using their terrorists that they integrated into their army. That is what Nigeria is doing. We are also covered by international covenant. We also have this legal framework by international covenant that I mentioned earlier. You see, now let me read to you exactly what Article 1 of both covenants says. MID, I love this topic. I was so random so that's she said that it says that all peoples have the right of self-determination. This is under international covenant. So by virtue of that right, they freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economy, social and cultural development. Again, all people, again, may, for their own ends, freely dispose of their natural wealth and resources without prejudice, without a suppression, without oppression to any obligations arising out of international economy. So we have the right to manage everything that belongs to us. We have the right. We determine how we want to expand our wealth. We have the right who we want to sell our resources to. We have the right to do whatever we want with our resources. So now think about this language in the context of our current situation now. All peoples. Let's just focus on this title now. All this subject, all people. So this includes us as Biafrans, all of us as Biafrans, freely determine their political status. We have never been free to choose whether we want to be part of Nigeria or not. We have never had this opportunity to choose. We have never freely pursued our economy, not to talk of social and cultural development. We have never. They have never given us a chance. That is how bad it is. You see, they've never given us a chance. In no case may a people be deprived of its own means of subsistence. We've never been given a chance. Yet our young people are among the poorest in Nigeria, despite producing most of the oil wealth. We are the poorest. Nigeria has violated every single of these international law. They have violated. Is there any sanction for them? The answer is no. Okay, how about 1970 declaration on, let's look at friendly relations. Friendly relations, again, is another crucial document. This same UN General Assembly resolution elaborated on the principles of self-determination and stated that it implies not just to colonial situations, but to any situation where people are denied the right to participate meaningfully in government. Does this sound familiar to our case? The answer is yes. We have been deprived to participate in any government activities, any government position, development. We have been deprived. You see what is happening? This is what the declaration says. It states that they must ensure that the right of all peoples within the territory to participate in the determination of their own political, economic, social, and cultural development on an equal footing. You see what is happening? But in Nigeria, what is happening to us as Biafrans? We have never participated in any ongoing event, especially when it has to benefit Biafrans. The political system is rigged to ensure that only Northerners dominate. We can see that they are selling vote. People are buying vote. Meanwhile, this election will take place in 2027, according to them, for them in Nigeria. But right now, what are they doing? They are ensuring that all the election will be rigged to do what? Favor the Fulanis. The federal character principle is manipulated to exclude all qualified Biafrans. And that is why we said, okay, bye-bye, we don't want to belong here. Is it the revenue that they collect? You can never see any meaningful percentage given to us. You see, the next one is the African Charter on Human Rights and People's Rights, which Nigeria also ratified. You see, Nigeria also ratified. The Article 20 states, all people shall have the right to existence. Does Nigeria want us to exist? The answer is no. That is why the terrorists are killing us, burning our houses when people are sleeping, chopping off their heads, removing their organs and selling it. When they sell, they pack the money to Florida and go and buy mansion. They want to buy a whole street in Florida and name it a Nigerian politician city. That is what they want to do with our money, with our blood. They have, it also states that I'm using a name now, Biafra, that we have the unquestionable and inalienable right to self-determination. We Biafrans, I'm putting Biafrans now, shall freely determine their political status and shall pursue their economic and social development according to the policy they have freely chosen. Now, which of these has been applicable or has favored us? Which of this legal framework, which has protected our rights, has ever been implemented in Nigeria for Biafrans? The answer is no. Now, notice the language here. Unquestionable and inalienable right to self-determination. You know what this means? That our right to self-determination cannot be questioned or taken away. I had to break down the big word there. It cannot be questioned or taken away from us. It belongs to us Biafrans simply because we exist as a people. In Article 21 of this African Charter, which they don't respect, it says again that all peoples shall freely dispose of their wealth and natural resources. This this right shall be exercised in the exclusive interest of the people. You see, in no case shall a people be deprived of it. You know, when they now quote all this law, I ask myself, where is Biafra here? Have they ever implemented this for the success and growth of Biafrans? The answer is no. So, and then Article 22 adds that all people shall have the right to their economy. My people, if you notice the trend, all this legal framework keeps on repeating the same thing, the same thing, the same thing, the same thing. And the subject there is all people, not white people, not yellow skin, not white hair, not brown hair, not yellow hair, but all people, not only females, not only male, not only Africans, but all people. So these are no suggestion or let me say aspiration. No, these are legal rights that belongs to us under treaties that Nigeria have signed. Though Nigeria has signed this treaty and they have also ratified it, but are they implementing it? The answer is no. The UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People is the last one that I put down here. You know, also applies to our situation. Why I'm taking time to, read this legal framework is for us to know that this is applying to our situation because none of these things has ever been implemented. All of them, especially Nigeria, has violated this right. Yes, they have violated it. Meanwhile, they signed and they ratified all these treaties, but they violated it. So while this was, primarily designed for indigenous people, right now, these principles apply to any people who are indigenous to their land. And we are indigenous to our own Biafra land. And are facing internal colonialism, which we are now facing from the hands of the Fulanis. Yes, that is what we are facing. And the Article 3 states that indigenous people have the right to self-determination. And by virtue of that right, they freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. They still maintain these things to freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. So we Biafrans are indigenous to our land. Yes, we are indigenous. We have been there for thousands of years before the emergence of Nigeria. This artificial entity called Nigeria, because it is fake, so artificial. And it was created since 2014. So we have the right to self-determination as indigenous people in our own ancestral land. And we can never allow the Fulani to take it away from us. I have talked too much. Maybe some other people wants to because if you give me the chance, I will continue. But let me yield the mic here, and then maybe after 1 hour, or if there's nobody to continue, because I wanted to, look at the different pathways to self-determination. Yeah. So let me yield here and maybe also see how I can refresh. But my host, if I refresh, it will definitely kick me out as a co-host. So if you need me back, I'll request for Mike. Yeah, thank you so much. I hope you could still hear me. Okay. My host, are you there?
Yeah, my guys.
My host, are you there?
Yes, Sister Zuto, I can hear you. And okay. I believe everyone can hear you.
Yeah, what
is online? I can't hear. I only see him raising hand.
No, that is not. Our host is not raising hand, but he's muted. It's Young Money that raised his hand. Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you clearly, very clearly.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to know if I should pause it for maybe anybody wants to make contribution because I will not stay.
No. Well, at this point, I will want you to just take a little rest and just sip some drinks or water. Because I can really say no. You are indeed a tutor. Indeed, no. Every one of us we keep learning, of course, and no. You have to just know your right. And it's very, very essential. Before you will bring our brother up young, it's very, very essential that we have to understand the right, the right. And the reason why we are doing this, we are not doing it because we want to be hooligans. We are not doing it because we want to create sin. We are not doing it for people to know us in the society. We are not just raising our voice for the world just to see us ranting, but we are doing that which is right. And that which is right is engulfed, it is carved out from the law of universe, which make the United Nations. What is called United Nations are nations of the world that comes together in their number and form a body. And that body has a law. And that law, the country contraction, lawless country called Nigeria signed to that treaty. And for them to have signed to the treaty, meaning that they are embedded by whatever the law and the charter and the article or whatever thing that in the deals, they are what? They are in custodian of such to keep it and to make sure that the right is what is well spread to everyone. Now we have come to discover that even when they come to this particular United Nations signatory in that 1960, we've come to understand that it was more like a forceful union against the will of the people. A forceful union against the will of the people. Because what these people were supposed to have done is what what Jonathan did in that wasn't it 2014 or thereabout, that he was trying to have a confab by bringing every ethnic and every tribes representative together to have a say in the round table and see how they can move on. That is what Nigerians are supposed to be in the first place, which they go against in the Article 30, which says the right to freedom, the right to be free, the right to be free, the right to be free. And this particular right to be free was against the will of the land. It was against the will of the tribe. It was against the will of the people. It was against the will of the ethnic. It was against the will of the culture. It was against the will of individual. If their consent were not carried along, and as such, Nigeria is more or less like a group nation, that more or less like a business empire that formulate themselves under pretense and present themselves to United Nations like a nation. It is not a nation because the will of the people, their consent were not in agreement, they were not carried along. Their rights were not properly consulted. Their rights were not properly submitted. Their consent were not involved. So it was a formation of what is against the will of the people, the rights of the land, the right of ethnic, the right of culture, the right of news, the rights of value. It was against it because you can't just bring a concussion and jam it together and expect that it's going to be like a particular food that you actually make a delicacy of what needs to come out of it. Concussion is not like, I don't want to be hungry. I don't want to be hungry. That is just what Britain succeed to do, because the trade union was in the hand of illegal. In fact, if we are to look into it, Fulani, you are to be pursued outrightly from this very contraction. You are, even when this country is finally get bricked to any part they want to break to, Fulani must be pursued out of the country because they are not part of the nation. Where is their geographical location? Where do they actually base? These people are actually existing somewhere. So you need to go back to where you come from. And if I am to give you the citizenship of where I am as my ancestral land, meaning that you are ready to do or to keep to the law of the land. But in other words, they do all they can do by doing contrary to the will and freedom of the people. With that Article 30 says that the right to be free from torture. They torture people. That is what these people come about from Futajano. The so-called Tanfodio agenda come with torture to do what? Come with deception first, now engage with torture. By doing what? By committing a blunder, a genocide against a particular location and a particular ethnic and a particular region and the people of the land. So now it has run what they can test run in the north and you see that no, yes, this thing is what it's worth it, then they are not ready to give up. And this is just more or less like a bargain and a deal between them and the Britain. And the people wake up to their right. It is a right for them to express that no, if you force me against my will and I feel that no, this is not okay with me from what you compel me to, then I have the right for that freedom. And the expression of our freedom is what has come to this extent. The expression of our freedom is what we can see from our leaders that have stood in the ground for us. That no, if you like, give me margin, I'm not interested. He said, what is his existence? His existence is not to the value of anything of mundane of this world, anything of enticement in this world, anything of any material things. He is not concerned about that. What he's concerned about is the freedom. Freedom. If there is anything he exists for, is the freedom to life. First and foremost, freedom to life. Freedom to be free. To express his right, to express his value, to express his culture, to express his political base, to express his liberty, to express his privacy. We don't have our privacy. If we have our privacy, you will not be forcing number four man against the will of the people. The political right has been abused. So there is no law that is working as far as the contraction is concerned that signed to the Treaty of United Nations. The law is not ineffective by a nation called himself Nigeria. There is no law that is working as far as the UN Charter law is concerned that they signed to. So, and because of this, we have just run and be able to bear for the past 60 to 100 years, and we felt that no, this is the right time for us to be free from this slavery. It's a slave, it's not a freedom. The world is given to us as a universe for God. God gave it to us for us to occupy. He asks us to be fruitful and multiply. So how do you want to be fruitful and multiply? When someone will come that will see my wife and he will say, okay, my wife is the one that is interested to do what? To bring his head down and rape and do what? And do contrary to the law of humanity. So the law of humanity is more like the law that the UN brought together to see that no nation that are interested sign to this treaty. And if they sign to it, why are they not respecting it? Why would they open their mouth to call us? Because they prescribe us initially. Why have they gone to that extent to prescribe us? They thought that maybe we don't understand our right. Our right we know. Our right to freedom we understand. Our right to live we understand. Our right to politics we understand. Our right to education we understand. Our right to participate in what now somebody can open his mouth and tell us that no over their dead body that a Igbo man will rule. What gave you that right? For the Article 1 that my sister just talks about, Article 1 spell it out that the article outlined the purpose of UN, including what? Including promoting and encouraging respect for human respect. They don't have respect for us. If they have respect for all the so-called idiot that will rot in hell, while he will not open his mouth to tell us that we are dot in a circle. They have no regard for us. They don't have respect for our fundamental freedom. If not, we were initially raising placards, we were initially just showcasing by coming together to make. Why can't you call them together, call us together and say, what do you people need? How do you want it to be? It could have ended up in a dialogue table, but they rather come up with with force and torture. They come up with killing. They come up with intimidation. They come up against us, which they know that they are violating the right. Now, one thing they succeed to do is the first thing they succeed to do so that our voice will not be heard is that they subject the contraction media so that the world will not know what is going on. Now it has gone beyond what they think of. It has escalated. So now that everyone began to hear and know they are still going by pretense, take it or leave it. It will end up in a round table, just like what happened between Ukraine and Russia that is ending up in a dialogue. The world will still finally come over this matter to sit to to it and see how it will end up in a dialogue. So I will want my brother to come up while we see to hello, my host, are you still there, sir? Hello, is anyone hearing me? Can anyone hear me? Hello? Is anyone hearing me there? Am I being okay? Thank you very much. So now it's an honor on us to know that no, we are not fighting blindly. We are fighting for that which is obtainable, that which is right, that which is lawful. It is lawful, and we see the contraction as a lawless base. It's a lawless environment that does not respect their own even fact. Now, good and fine. Before we even go to international law, there is what is called national law. Do they even respect their national law? When their own court of law say that this man is discharged and acquitted, never respect that right. Human right that the article 1, paragraph 1 of it says about that the right are universally recognized. Universally recognized. Human right is universally recognized. Now, if your law says someone is free, why are you still detaining the person to compel him to face the law and make sure that no, his voice is not being held? So the first and foremost is that no, they even contradict their own national law. So they are victim of their own national law and they are victim of international law. The principle of that norms and that which they establish the standard of human behavior, they have contradicted it. They have no respect for human being. Human ridicule was Bondu from another country. So they feel that no, they can always they forget that no, they are not operating in a jungle. They are not operating like it's more or less like a village. They are operating with the law that govern the globe. So if you are operating with the law that govern everyone together, why are you signed to that treaty? Whatever that make you to be a signatory to that thing, and you are going contrary, meaning that you are a victim of it. Nigeria has been a victim of us, of their own law, of the international law, and against what? Against human being that's supposed to exist in a particular location that you decided to do with your life as you will. So the life of every citizen that ought to have been protected is no longer secured, both nationally, both in the state, both in the local and in every region. There is no freedom to first and foremost security. So because the citizen did not even their safety has been subjugated. They have been silenced. Their voice cannot longer be heard as which the media is supposed to be the middleman for them. Now they have subjected their voice. Even there is a reason. I saw a post from their gutter media that talks about their media, how they are correcting. I mean, they are controlling the narrative through their media out. They are being exposed every now and then. So you can see that they have as well committed themselves against what they sign. So they are victim of the law they put their hand to by signatory. And that is why we wake up to our subconsciousness, not just our subconsciousness, but to the subconsciousness of the law that give us the right, that no, we have right to live. Why are we to live? We have, number one, we have a social life that we want to preserve. We have economic life that we want to preserve. We have cultural right that we want to preserve. We have right to life that we want to preserve. And we have right to expression that we want to preserve. These people lack this in this contraction, and they are not living like human, and that is why we refer to them oftentimes that they are zoo in the sense that no, they don't understand their law. If they understand their law, they will not. They are running up and down. They think that no, okay, zoo is like Canada. Now they are running up and down to see how they can do or they can correct something out from there. They can't correct it, except Canada want to go contrary against even the UN charter that they saw makes them to do or take a decision in their own court that this particular geographical location called the country Nigeria is what is a terrorist country. Why? Because they saw something that do or that bastardize against the international law. So we as a particular region that wake up to the subconsciousness of our right to live first, our right to life is being abused. Because when you have right to right, that is when you can think of whom you want to speak. If you don't have life to right, you cannot speak. If you don't have that life to life, our right to life, you cannot do or you cannot have a trade. If you don't have life to right, you cannot think of your society. You don't have life to right, you cannot think of no development. If we don't have life to right, we cannot be thinking of our culture. First and foremost, our life to right has been abused. If we are to check the list of people that are being unalive within the contraction, it is no other place but rather the Biafran people. So our life to right is what we are here talking about first. Because if we have that life to right, it's going to bet every other aspect of our right. So our life to right is very, very essential. We want to live. When we live, it is then we think of the land we want to cultivate. When we live, it is then we think of whether we want to marry. When we live, it is then we think of whether we want to enjoy ourselves in the society. When we live, that is when we think of, okay, we have a culture that our forefathers left for us to preserve. When we live, it is then we think of, okay, development. When we live, that is we think of how we want to do it. We want to brainstorm on what we have us there as a knowledge to education. When we live, it is then we think of many other civic rights that know that we need to be encompassed with. So it is of our very inalienable right that we have to live as human beings, which is the law of universe, is the law of UN. It is a law that is acceptable. It is a law that they sign into, and they are victim of that law. And if you are a victim of that law, then you should face the law. Is the law above? Are they above the law of UN? If they are not above the law of UN, then we lend our voice to international community, to the leader of conscience and the leader of free world, that it become an onus on them to wake up to their responsibility. Otherwise, let them scrap UN. If UN give them opportunity to release our leader and they fail to do so after 6 months, what are they waiting for? But rather, these people, they're very, very, very cunning and very, very wicked to the extent that right from 1960 when they were signing that charter, they planted their agents into UN. And that is why they keep on rotating their agents within that contraction of Fulani enclave to do what? To sit on that place so that the voice of what is happening within the contraction cannot be heard. So even when we make a submission there, or probably will file anything there, as a case file, you will discover they will trash it somewhere. Why? Because who is there is serving the beginning of the agenda of genociding. So it becomes very, very essential that our voice that is now escalating to the war power corridor become an important thing that every one of us need to wake up to. What you are doing, you are not doing a legal thing. You are doing something that the UN Charter approve. It is a right that they sign to. They know it, but they want to intimidate you. Because one thing your enemy want to do, first and foremost, before he will succeed to do or to subjugate anyone, is for first and foremost is for you to create fear. When you create fear, fear comes by torture, and torture will end up in what? In total suicide. Where either by unalive the person or kill the person. And these are things, the weapons they are much more specialized on. We could see how life of much has been eliminated. Nigeria is a blood-shedding ground that has gone contrary to first and foremost the law of universe. Thou shalt not kill, but they violated it. UN said life to what? Life to life. Life, right to live, right to live, right to live, right to life, right to life. They violated it. So tell me which law is above the law of life again? If there is any other law come under the law of life. So, but they have violated this law, and this law is what we hold them to as a responsibility for us to do or to defend our life, to do or to reciprocate by what? By defending ourselves. So, if you don't know what you are doing, no one should be telling you that Biafran people are constituting news, and we are not constituting it. What we are actually doing, we are injecting out what? The right to life by defending ourselves. First thing, and then you will see what this man talks about. Tiwa Danjuma, that no, if you fail to wake up, it was only trying to expatiate on what our leader has taught us before he even made that pronouncement from that Taraba. He was only emphasizing on what Nnamdi Kanu has spoken about. That failure for you people to wake up, you all will be wiped out one after the other. So the right to defense is as well in the article of UN Charter that no, we as human beings, as you have right to life, then if anyone is to take your life, then you have right to defend yourself. Because they don't want you and I to live, then you have that right to do what? To defend yourself. We are not doing anything that is obstruction to the law of universe, neither to the law of UN. So we are operating within the law that is acceptable and obtainable and even signatory to the war nation of this earth, that they have right to life. So if we have right to life, then it becomes a very crucial thing that we need to take up by ourselves, because no one is coming to fight for us, but first and foremost, you have to defend yourself. By the time you begin to defend yourself, it is then two that are fighting together. I remember my leader said something: when two people are fighting together, then the third person will say, "Come, what is happening?" Before they will call that what is happening, we have that right to defend ourselves. It is when that would to go on a high mode from our defense level, that is where the world cannot listen to us. The right as well to make our voice to be known is that almost that is given to us, that opportunity that is given to us through our lobbies. The right to express ourselves. That right is what a United Nation is respecting. That right is what US as well is respecting. That is why we have the opportunity to have our voice down into what? Washington, D.C. Why? Because they understand what is called right to expression. That is why they could say what is happening over there. Okay, you bring the testimony. We want to see what is happening. The right to expression. So we have right to do or to defend ourselves. We are defending ourselves on these two hologram: the right to defense and the right to express ourselves. We have the opportunity through our lobbies, and we have the opportunity through our angels on ground. The right to do to self defense, right to do to life. Right to life become enormous that no, we need to do what we need to fund it. We must fund it. No one will tell you that no, you are a terrorist. No one will tell you that no, you are a terrorist, and that is why no, everything no, we right from the time of our Oyendu did was in the open. It wasn't concealed. It was in the open. It was registered even within the United Nations there, that we have that particular site that we were making a donation to. Why can't they prescribe us from there? Why can't they say we are funding terrorism? Why can't they resist us, and why can't they get our leader arrested? Why? Because they understand that number one is fighting a just cause, is fighting for what is known to a charter that is signed into. So until they will not come until they will understand our right, and this will bring a pointer for them to put much more interest on us when they go to high. The Woto can only come up when we release funds to defend ourselves through that life that is given to us by God, that we need to preserve. We have that right, that authority to live as human beings. We have that right, that authority to exist in our own God-given ancestral land. Why? Because it is a treaty that it is where organized and well articulated and well signed by United Nations. So if we as human beings existing in our own within the contraction and in our own ancestral land, and we are being deprived of it and we keep quiet, man, meaning that no, we are going to be on a life one after the other. We have failed to be quiet. We have never been quiet right from 1967 to 1970. We made it known to them. That is why our leader first rose up that time. He fought a just cause. Why? Because he understands what is called right to life. When he saw thousands of unalived Biafran, that their head, their body parts were sent through railway to the east, it was a very tense and a very unexplainable moment and mood that any leader of conscience will see and would smile with. That is why he took upon himself the right to do what? The right to defend himself. That is why our forefathers never give up. They stood up with the right to do or to defend themselves. The only thing they never had is what we have now. The right to lobby their way in by expressing themselves. That right, they never see the opportunity to do to utilize it. But we have the full force to do to organize ourselves, weaponize these two forces. Why? Because God said it is time. And when it is time, we begin to have pointer. And the pointer we have was so very clear for us to do to navigate. So we are not navigating, we are not being restricted, we are not being rejected, we are not being ignored. What we are doing is making an impact and it's affecting them. Think it's not affecting them, it's affecting them. It's torturing them. It's causing them a lot. It's destabilizing them. They are not going to be focused. Why would they be focused? Because it has become a national interest. It has become international interest. Why? Because our life is become a very, very important thing that we need to do to raise our voice by expressing ourselves in all channels. And the channel we have now is no other channel, but rather two channels. And the two channel is only anchor on one particular channel. The two channel is the lobby. The other one is defense. And the last one is rather but you and I to fund these two channels. By the time we fund these two channels, we are sacrificially doing it. I can bet you we will live to enjoy it at the end. We will live not to regret what we are doing. Is pushing us to a particular radiant that is going to bet out nothing but freedom. It's not going to bet out anything but rather what rejoice. It's not going to bet out anything rather but life. So earlier we began to put momentum on what we know to do best, the better for us to get the victory as quick, as fast as possible. Thank you. If there is anyone that still have one or two things to say, you can raise your hand. Is my host there? Am I there? Are we there? Are we together? That's right, sir. When can we get on the way, damn it? Can anyone hear me? Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. MID. Hello, sir. I don't know. I can see you hanging here. I don't know. Okay. Atco. Let me bring you up. Thank you. I can see you requesting. Yes, sir.
I have a little time because it's late here.
Okay, sir. Go ahead, sir.
It's 4 minutes to 12 midnight.
You're welcome, sir.
Yes, thank you so much. MID is busy. This is the first time I'm seeing a host raising hand. I just laughed, as MID, the most educated European citizen.
In fact, he's with great running out of things.
You never hear with it, okay, you be careful because their way is not our way.
He's our dogu one.
Adeje Jemba. Hello. I greet everybody. I don't want to start calling everyone because it's late. Am I still coming out?
Yes, I can hear you clearly, sir. Yeah. Oh.
Hold on, talk to me. Am I still coming out?
Yes, I can hear you clearly, sir. You're up, sir.
I need a thumbs up if I'm coming out, please. Hold on, am I coming out so I can continue?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are coming up, sir. Yes, sir. You are coming up, sir. You're up, sir.
Okay.
I can hear you, sir.
I guess I'm coming out.
You are coming out.
Can you hear me?
Hardcore, you are coming out. Oh, he has dropped again. He has dropped hardcore. I mean, Holland. Can anybody hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you. Maybe it's network,
Now,
sir.
let me see if I can bring him up again. He's requesting.
Yes.
All right. He's up now. So let's see if the network will. Okay, Baba, go ahead.
We can hear you clearly, sir.
All right. Thank God. I don't know who I am that I've been marked out for attack. As in, I swear, people are saying that they are attacking them. My phone is under attack. My line is under attack. And whenever I'm speaking, they are bringing me down. I used to hear that. But since 1 week, I begin to experience that. I know that it is real.
It's because the truth is penetrating, sir.
I say even on YouTube, I went to talk with. I can't even come out on. Can I say, David Nana own is that once I try to go in to speak, it will kick me out entirely. Then Betty Ford own is other Betty Ford is that I will continue speaking, and once I'm trying to hit the point, it's like someone will just press the button, bam, and will disappear. So he's on space, and it's burning me. It's giving me sleepless nights because this is my blood. This is my strength. This is where I drive my energy. Biafra is my life. I'm nothing without the coming of Biafra. What did I come to this world to do? What is my purpose of coming to this life? That I have lived and died, and yet people are still struggling to get Biafra. We are the last generation for this battle. And that is why I say that we are gatekeepers. Thank you all, everyone. I don't name the all of Tuto. Nki kerebe no nki. Hey, wanki kurokuya aja ame rumor and the propaganda. I'm looking for her. Olam Dalo, Ibaneka. MID, Une, Idure, Okwe Onam. Benowa, you need to see, Iron Lady Dalo. You need to see one day Dalo. I don't want to go far. Let me just stop here. Understanding the international laws in self-determination. When you look at this topic, is reflecting to the same topic we were talking about yesterday about our inalienable rights for freedom. The fact is that all African nations and African leaders came together under the umbrella called AU, African Union. stipulated this law, which was under the foundation of United Nations, which they are signatory to. But this law only works in the West. But in Africa, the law never works. The only thing that made me to come in is late. I'm supposed to be sleeping. Was when Tutor was speaking and she mentioned economical freedom. It's not only about you being free, but you are supposed to be free economically. And for Holland to cement it all, he said that was why Goodluck Jonathan wanted that conference for restructuring, where every individual in that contracted a country supposed to come together. But because the Fulanis want it all, they do not want the situation where they know they are visitors. They know that they are foreigners. They don't want the situation where they will come into your country to get your citizenship and abide by your law. They want the situation where they will take your land by force and implement and impose their own law, which is Sharia and Islamic law, on you. And that is why Biafrans want to be on their own. Talking about economic right of, according to United Nations, the oil that is coming from our region is the only resources that is fueling. You see all these things that they see Nigerian politicians gallivanting with big cars and escort and all. It is oil. They have ask them, they have no other source of income to build the nation. Okay, ask me. Is it by industrialization? How many companies have they built? Is it by taxation and rural development and every other? None. It is only oil. But the most painful part is that the gold and other resources that is being discovered in the north is not a federal project to harness. Those ones, the state and individuals who are in charge are managing it. But our own oil from our land is a national cake to share. That is the area that I got so much upset with my brothers who are in so-called Niger Delta. Someone is drilling your oil from your fatherland under your ground, using the money to make exploit, buy weapons, support terrorism to come and fight you. Then employ you as a security to wash that pipe so that no one will vandalize it. Meanwhile, the law and articles in United Nations and AU is telling you that it is your right to exercise your economic freedom to manage what God has given you around you. That your resources is your own. It is your right to dig it, bring it out, sell it, develop it, anyhow you want to do it, and develop yourself. It is your right. Nobody has the right to come to your farm and dig the yam. Just take for instance, that I'm a farmer. I'm in my farm. The yam is growing. And one person from government said that the government has said that we are going to come and harvest this your yam, sell it, and use it for government purpose, and we're going to give you whatever that is needed for you. Or let me say, with this your farm now, we'll be the one harvesting it. We are going to pay you for security to guide this farm. It is the same thing. So Nigeria is not a nation, it's not a country. It is a business enterprise. Royal Niger. That was the name that the Britain was operating with before 1960. Royal Niger Company. Where they're taking timbers, palm oil, call it rubber, cocoa, they are pushing it. Even the chocolate you are eating. You know that if Africa stops sending cocoa to the West, nobody will eat chocolate again. You don't know that. We are the engine of the world, but we are suffering. Okay, now, when the West has been arranging and harvesting, enjoying all these things, during that time, they know what is called Bight of Biafra. At that period, our name is presently located in the map. I'm trying to give support to what my information minister was saying early in the morning. I don't know the time, but it was in my morning. They realize that this is Bight of Biafra, the region where they're supposed to take whatever that will help them there. But when they now finally discover that they need to use some certain people called Fulanis to impose on us to steal our oils, they remove the name Biafra from the map.
I love the way they say that word.
And when you are talking to them in the West, they pretend as if they don't ever knew that Biafra has been in existence for more than, someone was saying 400, it's 500 and something years. What existed for more than 500 years. But they carefully erase it because time has come when the tools they want to use to manipulate us is available. But the most painful thing is that the tools is working for them properly. Adachichi, I don't know who you are. You were speaking at it was Nana page because I was trying to come in. She spoke and network kicked her out. She came back again. Network. I've never seen the zealous of a female Biafran, a woman with the spirit of Biafran. Whenever you are hardcore, say you are blessed. And when I bless you, I swear to God Almighty, you are blessed. Network keep kicking this woman out, and she's coming back. And she made a statement. That is why which is the reason why I remembered her. She said that Biafran should not listen to P2B in 2027 because whatever he is doing is the same thing that Zik Namuda Azikiwe did. Let me, God forbid, Namuda Ekwesehebanaf Zik. Why Zinke? Zinke. That is what Zinc did that put us. Zinc is the one that put us in this problem we are. Because the table before Zinc in 1969 to 70, 67 was very clear. He is the only one to decide our fate because we have no lobbyists. We have no lobbyist firm or any attorney abroad. That was the only mistake Biafra made, of which we are correcting it now. And that's why you are seeing sanction upon sanction coming to Nigeria. I don't want to go there. But Zik, because he's the only one representing there, it's a simple decision. What do you want? Biafrans to go or one Nigeria? But because of the promises they gave him, he betrayed his mother and his fatherland. Today, if you are listening to me, will you be proud to have a child and name that child Zeke or Azikiwe, whatever they call it? But you can name your child Nnamdi. You can name your child Ojukwu. You can name your child Njoko. Eba. You can name your child whatever that pleases, that stands for, just like the same thing. Chiejula. What do you call it? The man that betrayed. I forgot his name. So that is why we are in this mess today. It is our inalienable rights to demand for our freedom. The African Union, AU, they know about that. United Nations, they knew about that. But because of the gullibles and the politicians who are money mongers, they refuse to listen to the law they themselves are signatory to. Because someone is telling them, don't worry, I will go and speak to them, they are my brothers. Just give me some money, I will go home, I will know how I will talk to them, and they will calm down. I'm telling you, what this thing I said now is what has been going on since 1970 to today. Since after the war to today. Don't worry. You give them 20 pounds and they are complaining. Why are they complaining? They fought us. They killed a lot of us. Don't worry, I'm going to talk to them. But me, please give me 100 pounds. The generation of what you call the Ohanes of so-called Ohanes, the former leader, are the ones who benefited from high rates of fund during 20 pounds returns. All the people who benefited from that are the ones standing on that. There is something I always forget to tell Biafrans. It's going to hurt. It is out of my speech, but it's going to hurt. If your father is a police or army officer and you were born in the barracks and you don't love Biafra and you are not supporting this freedom, please go and ask your mother question. I will never say this again. This statement comes out of observations. If your father is a police officer and you are born in police barracks where Fulani and our brothers are mixed, and your father every night you will go for night duty and all the rest, and you are born in that particular place and your spirit is not telling you that you are a Biafran and you hate everything Biafra, ask your mother question. I close that door and I come back to the topic. Whatever they ask me to say, I will say it. And if it concerns you, I'm sorry, but you need to ask your mother question. So, we are fighting for a just cause. Self-defense is not a crime. You came to kill me, and I was begging you. Before my eyes, you killed my child, you killed my wife, and I escaped. Then I came back again. Are you expecting me to come back with flowers and chocolates, maybe cake, to come and ask you to forgive me? No, I'm going to come back with furies, with anger, with retaliation. And the United Nations has helped us to make that a right that is unquestionable self-defense. So for those of us who are still sitting on the fence, who are still thinking that maybe I'm going to contribute when PM comes out, if I don't see Hamadike, I will not contribute. What if you die before Hamadike comes out? What will be your story before the throne of Chukwukabiama? Nobody, I repeat, nobody is coming to help us. It is between you and I. If you can tell, that is the onus. If you fail to do the right thing at the right time, if you fail to plan, it means that you have planned to fail. That is the onus. That is the auspices of the innuendo. And nobody changes that. Before your eyes, Fulani terrorists, they are coming. Today I heard that one local government in Castina have bowed down and they went to negotiate with them. Okay, no problem. Come and sit in our community. Okay, the communities you have taken, we are leaving it to you. You think that if they take a community, that there will be a time that there will be a negotiation for you to come back to your community again? If they take it, they have taken it. If you are doubting what I'm saying, go and ask Trump and Zelensky. All those communities, all those cities that Trump have conquered is not coming back to Ukraine again. That is the law of war, backed up by United Nations, that when your land is taken by war and you can't take it back by war, originally the occupant is the owner. And that is the only law that Fulani is holding. To move down to take our land. And we thank God that our BLAs and Biafra Republic government in exile have limited their movement at Benue. Because when you and I relax ourselves, under 2 days, you have to 2 days. 30 minutes, men na piaji. Go and meet. If you have a man, if you have a brother or a sister who is in military, go and ask them question. The only thing the Zoo army is saying is that now can piaji, because they have tested the wrath of freedom fighters. Now you can appear the Roma. If go, they are calculating the Mpuru Apiana moto. They are rapid response. One day, first to press trigger, now you win the game. Because if I press first, before you locate the big begin on one knee, that go more. So tough. Another moment, this singing do, and they be done easy. So, my brothers, the quest for our freedom is not a crime. It is our inalienable right. It's like a child telling the mom that I'm hungry when there is food in the pot. It is the right of that child for the mother to dish food in a plate and give that child. All they need is the energy to speak out and request for that food. That energy is your lobbyist. That energy is your BLA. And the energy is coming from your funding, your friends. Nobody will do that for us. Nobody. So in a nutshell, our politicians is not our, because we have no politicians. The gullible politicians who are aiding and abetting the killings of our people in Biafra land, their basic interest is the money they are getting from zoo. Now, apart from the money they are getting from the zoo, they believe in one Nigeria. And that money that
Hello, Minister Sonny. Good evening.
Yes, I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Hope you're fine.
Yes, I'm fine.
Yeah. Are you free?
Yes.
Okay, I sent you a topic. You use it to prepare the link of this video. The Zoom is open already, so we have to do live.
Okay. Give me some minutes.
Okay. I got many minutes.
It won't be more than 10 minutes.
Okay.
All right.